List comprehension is just an alternative to the traditional loops and append operations. It is just a concise way to create lists in Python. This is the syntax of list comprehension. Within square brackets, we should write the expression first. For item is the variable that takes the value of the element. From where does it take? It takes it from the iterable. What is an iterable? It is a collection of items like a list, a tuple, or a range through which we can iterate. And then there is a condition, which is optional. If you want to filter the items collected so far based on the expression, we can use if condition. What are the advantages of list comprehensions? The first thing is it's just concise. It's brief compared to the for loops, and then it is very readable. And performance wise, list comprehensions are faster than traditional for loops. However, there are some disadvantages. If we have very complex operations, list comprehensions are difficult to read and understand. And the memory consumption is very high if you have large lists because the entire list is generated at once. Let's say I want to create a list of squares from 1 to 10. What is the traditional way to do this? First, we'll create a empty list of squares, and then we use a for loop. I should take this squares list and append them with x into x, which is x squared. Or we can write x to the power of 2. And then we want to print squares. So the output is all the squares of numbers from 1 to 10. How can we use list comprehension for this? We can write the expression, which is x squared x power 2 for x in range 1 to 11, and then print squares. We could see that we could get the same output with just this single statement. This is the power of list comprehension. Let's look at another example. Let's say I want to create a list of even numbers from 1 to 10. What is the traditional way to do it? We should create an empty even numbers list, and then we should write the for loop for x in range 1 to 11 if that x percent 2, which is nothing but the remainder, if that number when divided by 2 gives a remainder of 0, then you take that number and append it to that even numbers list and print evens. We could see all the even numbers from 2 to 10. How can we do the same thing using list comprehension? Even numbers are x for x in range 1 to 11 if x percent 2, which is nothing but the remainder, is 0. Even numbers. You could get the same output with just a single statement. Let's say I want to convert a list of strings to uppercase. Apple, banana, cherry. Convert all the strings into uppercase. So what's the traditional way? Uppercase fruits. Create an empty list for fruit in fruits. Uppercase fruits dot append fruit dot upper. We're using the upper method here. Print uppercase fruits. How can we use list comprehension for this? Uppercase fruits is open the square brackets, apply the method directly for fruit in fruits. That's it. Print uppercase fruits. You got the same result with this list comprehension. Let's look at another example. Create pairs of I comma j where I is from 1 to 3 and j is from 1 to 2. What is the traditional way? We'll create an empty list of pairs, and for I in range, because it is 1 to 3, the range should be 1 to 4. For j in range, because the j is from 1 to 2, take the pairs and append I comma j. Print pairs. For each item in these two ranges, we got the result of pairs. How can we use list comprehension for this? Simply pairs are, open the square brackets, you want the expression I comma j for I in range 1 to 4, for j in range 1 to 3, and then you close the square bracket, print pairs. You got the same result using list comprehension. Let's say I want to create a list of numbers from 1 to 30 that are divisible by both 2 and 3. So what's the traditional way? Print divisible by 2 and 3 list. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30 are the numbers which are divisible by both 2 and 3 in the list of numbers from 1 to 30. How to use list comprehension for this? We just open the square bracket and write x for x in range 1 to 30. And what is the condition? If x percent 2 is 0 and x percent 3 is also 0, it should be range 1 to 31, because only if it is range 1 to 31 it includes 30. If I write range 1 to 30, it does not include 30. That's why we got the output as different. But if I modify this, I would get the result same as the previous one. Using functions in list comprehension. Let's say I have a function here and I want to use that function in a for loop. Traditionally, what we can do is define the squares as empty list for x in range, let's say 10 numbers, so range 1 to 11. Take that squares and append it with square of x. Print squares. What we did here is we used a function instead of using an expression, and that function is defined somewhere in the program. We could use list comprehension to do the same job. So using list comprehension, squares is take that function square of x for x in range 1 to 31. Sorry, 1 to 11. And then print squares. We got the same result. So these are the different ways we could avoid the traditional for loops and use list comprehension to have a concise code and do the same job with more efficiency.